The kora is a 21-string instrument frequently played throughout West Africa by traditional storytellers known as griots. These griots are historians who pass their skills and knowledge on to their descendants. In this film series, Dare to Believe, we share our history and stories that have been passed down through our communities, staff, and the people who support us.
J'ai commencé à World Vision le 1er juin 1988. Bon, à dire vrai que les premières années de travail à World Vision n'étaient pas trop faciles. On ne comprenait pas la présence d'une organisation chrétienne dans un pays musulman, même si on y travaillait. Mais après la compréhension de la mission de World Vision, on a compris que c'est une organisation de développement pour l'aide humanitaire, pour le bien-être de la population, et en particulier les enfants. Donc beaucoup de Mauritaniens sont aujourd'hui convaincus que c'est vraiment le grand partenariat qui lie World Vision et les communautés.
First of all, the name World Vision was misunderstood. People thought we were high specialists who are coming to make sure that everybody can see well. But as World Vision started working in the field with them and interacting with them and living with them, people developed a better understanding of World Vision.
Two of the most significant early interventions World Vision engaged in. We were invited to participate with the Ministry of Health for a national immunization campaign, a child immunization campaign. Part of the communication strategy for that campaign was putting up posters around the country. And Mauritania is a country where illiteracy is very high, and particularly women. And I thought, how are we going to reach our audience? An idea popped into my head saying, why don't we volunteer to do a radio and television campaign that would focus on illiterate women to promote the immunization. This went on Mauritanian television during the campaign, and it gave us attention all the way to the President's office. This was the first public service announcements in Mauritanian television and radio. That was probably the smallest project that year, but had the most impact in that it reached the entire nation and put World Vision on the map.
Well, we had nothing in Chad until we got a message that there was a real drought. And when we saw Chad and when we met with the leadership, it was quite devastating. They thought no one would come to help them, and they thought it was a forgotten country. We tried to encourage national groups to develop projects, and I remember one of the unique projects that we had in Chad at the beginning. They came up with the idea and said, why don't you provide to every family a couple sheep, a couple chicken, a couple goats, and let them develop these animals themselves. And we told them you cannot eat them, at least for 1 year, because the little ones have to be given to your neighbors. And so that project spread all over. Everyone talked about that project. And I remember that was a very successful achievement.
Many organizations were coming in order to help people relieve development but didn't stay for long. And the people were disappointed. And some people told me, you go to World Vision, but you are not sure that this organization will continue to work in Mali, so you're going to lose your job. But I was sure that God was calling me to this ministry, and I decided to hold on. World Vision decided to fund small projects from 1976 to 82, like well digging, agriculture, literacy, Sunday school, these things, about 6 projects that I managed. We started with very small stuff. I think it was only about 5, 6 people. But shortly after that, in 1983, the country, let us say West Africa, was struck with a severe drought. And therefore, World Vision decided to intervene with a major relief project, giving Mali 10,000 tons of food to distribute all over the country in areas that were severely suffering from the drought. After the drought phased out, World Vision decided to continue with a rehabilitation program. And that went on from that time, 84, until 1988, when the sponsorship programs began.
We worked really hard in West Africa to actually improve people's lives. It's amazing what this group accomplished, and we had this certain camaraderie. The support office guys knew they were in for a ride when they got in with us, and they were some of the ones that actually helped to create some of the what I would call the innovation and the new ways of doing things. That's the DNA that's in West Africa. I know from the days of Manfred Cole early on, even Bryant Myers, when they were very early back in the late 70s and 80s, early 80s. Then we picked up from there and actually took World Vision and got World Vision planted. So what we did was we basically took a region that had only 25,000 sponsored kids into it. No interest from the support office. It's Francophone, it's Islamic, it's off the ends of, you know, it's too hot, no one wants to visit. It's basically a region that people wanted to ignore if they could. And we said no. So we started to sell and sell and sell and create the value proposition that would get people to come in. But we had to start to convince the support offices to put sponsorship. So now we're trying to get sponsorship initiated in Mauritania, in Senegal, in Mali, and in Chad at the time. And I'll tell you what, it was not an easy sell.
Thanks to the efforts and the advocacy by the founders of World Vision West Africa, hundreds of thousands of children's lives have been transformed through sponsorship. Since our first program began in Mauritania, over 300,000 children have been sponsored.
As a Christian organization, World Vision has always been engaged with religious leaders. And in a region like West Africa, where Christianity in many areas is a minority, a very small minority, the engagement has been with Muslim religious leaders, not with Christian leaders. So we learned that skill, and over the last years we have learned to not only explain what we do and make sure the non-Christian leaders don't interfere in a negative way to stop the good work that we are doing, but we have now learned to put them in the front to be the driving engine for change for children. And for me that's a beautiful accomplishment, that we can now engage with religious leaders for birth spacing. It's now religious leaders that go house to house, encouraging couples to discuss and see how many children, and to make sure for health and economic reasons they give enough space before the next child is being born.
In 1997, we went to the Hilton Foundation about the need to expand the water and sanitation program to West Africa. And as a result of the successes that had been achieved in Ghana, we proceeded to start the ministry in Niger and in Mali. And now, if you go there, you'll see that they have also advanced quite a bit. And of course, my travels around West Africa also, I have seen that there is a lot of improvement,
Oh, I feel satisfied, because what we initially did was like planting a seed, and now World Vision has blossomed all over the country. All the best, everything they are enjoying under the shade of the organization. Now World Vision is a household name.
The nice thing is that when I became the leader of the West Africa region, World Vision had gained a lot of experience in both relief and development work. There were some programs coming to an end, so the question of sustainability, of impact, was really gaining importance. We were talking about impact, not only activities. We were talking about return on investment on the budgets invested in communities. The work we're doing is really making a difference, that we can measure the difference we are making, we can articulate the contribution of World Vision to the change that is there, and we can see it in the state of the children that they have evolved positively.
I think what we started has multiplied 100-fold. And you're excited. I just rejoice whenever I go to West Africa. It's absolutely amazing how many projects are going on, and many different offices are supporting it, and donors and foundations are behind it. I think it's fantastic. I can only say that what we started was worthwhile.
Just as we've been welcomed into numerous communities across the region, we'd like to welcome you to take the next step. Discover World Vision West Africa's history and programs in the rest of our video series, which includes advocacy and interfaith, programming, emergency response, and opportunities for the future.